Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to program Insight in V News English. Dear viewers, it's fifth day of Iranian war. United States of America and Israel are continuing their airstrikes, and Iran is also retaliating by targeting different US targets, not only in Middle East but also in Israel. Latest development is at a Pentagon briefing, US Secretary of Defense has announced and has claimed that it will take next 1 week to United States of America and the US will be controlling Iranian airspace. This means that they will be getting control or domination over Iranian defense system. To discuss this and at the same time the efforts by the Muslim countries for a possible de-escalation of this war, we are joined by former ambassador of Pakistan, Naela Chohan. Very warm welcome to program Insight in V News English, Ambassador Naela Chohan. How you see this fifth day of the Iranian war?
Well, by every passing day, it's becoming more and more costlier and more complicated. Costlier in terms of if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, then obviously the oil energy supply to the rest of the world from the Gulf would be needed. Consequently, the prices of commodities, of everything will go high. And this is a very critical time because already the world economy is facing turmoil. The American economy is also not doing very well. So while Pam Bondi in her speech also said that, President Trump has done a great job and their economy is doing so well and the stock has gone so high. The point is, stock is not really the indicator of economy. Economy has many other factors that need to be taken into account. So this war will be very costly, not only for the Gulf states, for medium economies like ours, but also powers like United States of America. It may also affect China because China was also importing oil and gas from here. So actually it's going to impact the whole world. Now, Iran, we must understand, is not Venezuela. So by taking out one person or shooting him down is not going to change what Islamic revolution in Iran is about. It is a very well-entrenched system with a lot of institutions. They already had planned, the succession plan was already there even when Imam Khamenei was alive. So from the candidates that were there, they have now, it seems, agreed on the son of Imam Khamenei. So let's see how that works out. I think the Americans are not calculating Iranian potential correctly. They have been bombing Tehran and a few cities here. In the 12-day war also, they had said that they had cleared the nuclear capacity of Iran. And yet now the pretext was that it is again near the threshold of becoming a nuclear weapon state.
Nuclear power state, exactly.
There are contradictory statements coming from the West. Iran has very cleverly planned its defense system. They call it the mosaic defense. We have to understand what mosaic defense means. What they have done is they have decentralized their defense. Amongst the 31 provinces of Iran, they have empowered every state with the capacity to hit back. So even if you totally annihilate Tehran, Iranian defense will not end. Iran will still keep on hitting at its enemies. So this calculation has to be taken into account by the West. President Trump has made many claims. Even now, they're claiming that they will, overpower the Iranian airspace. They will be bombing They even last time did the mother of the bomb. They had done the daisy cutters. They had done everything, and yet they had to come back to do it again. Uh, this is now becoming critical because Israel does not have strategic depth. Israel does not have a population enough to keep on, recycling soldiers. Their capacity for pain is very little. They can inflict pain on others, but they can't take pain. They don't have the capacity to take pain. As far as United States is concerned, President Trump is preparing for the midterm election. So he is now in a very tight situation. If you recall the recent statement by Marco Rubio, who said that, well, we preempted the Israeli preemption to attack Iran, so that's why we attacked Iran. A very kind of, again, it's not make America great again, it's make Israel great again. So there is a lot of debate going on in United States of America on this as well.
How you see the sentiment, resilience, courage, and support by the Iranian nation to its leadership?
Well, the people they are hitting are in the urban areas who are educated, who really don't have very, strong commitments. It's the people in the rural areas which are really committed to the revolution more than the urban areas. So by hitting Tehran, the strength of revolution will not decrease because the majority of the population in the suburbs, in the rural areas, is now joining together to stand one. But having said that, Mr. Mateen, I fear that the plan for this attack had been made long ago. It's not 2, 3 days ago, or 5 days ago, or a month ago. This had been contemplated before. And my fear is that they will try to Balkanize Iran because the core Iran is Shia. But the peripheries are different ethnicities. If they try to create a Balochistan, that will also affect you because then they will create a new country, Balochistan, with Iranian and Pakistani Balochistan together. They may also try to create Kurdistan. Then about the Azeris, the peripherals, there are different populations that can, perhaps the CIA and the agencies, Mossad, are focusing on instigating these peripheral areas for their strategy to Balkanize. Even in 12-day war, could recall that the Israelis had their feet on the ground in the remote desert areas of Iran, which the center was not aware of. They could not have made all those attacks from Tel Aviv. This was done from the periphery of Iran to the center, Tehran. So they can sneak in because the peripheries are not as consolidated as is the center.
What do you think? What will be the challenge for Pakistan and China? Because China is a close trade partner. China is a country enjoying very close relations with Iran, and Pakistan is immediately neighbor. So, as you also hinted, proximity of Iran with Balochistan. So, in case of this scenario, that there could be Balkanization, there would be direct negative effect on Pakistan.
Very true. Pakistan will also be next in line. They're also planning Balkanization of Pakistan. But the point is, will they succeed? These are the plans.
These are the plans.
And when I spoke to my friends, when I spoke to my Iranian friends, they said we are aware of these plans, and we have been working assiduously to counter this strategy. It remains to be seen how successfully the Iranian government has addressed the threat that they had perceived long ago. It's not something that the Iranians are not aware of. The Iranian government is very aware of it. And this whole idea of decentralizing and empowering the states was also to give them that feeling of being stakeholders in this whole situation, that even if there is last one Iranian standing, he will continue to fight because they have been made stakeholders in it. So the Western design to marginalize or to exploit the marginalized populations, I'm not sure how successfully they will be able to achieve this target. As far as Pakistan is concerned, we have to work hard on this because we have been facing a lot of internal strife through outside institutions, which you are very well aware of. We have to work on our marginalized population as well as did the Iranians. Uh, the enemy is always planning. We have to counter plan, and I'm confident that we will be able to deal with it. As regards China, China does not agree with the Western definition of the New World Order as they defined, and now it's a New World Disorder. China never wanted to be in the big power game. China is a power, a superpower, but it does not want to enter into a direct rivalry. They did, the Americans have tried dragging them into the tariff wars and Taiwan issue, from strategic ambiguity to direct instigations. That has been going on with China. But China is a very mature civilization, just like all these three countries that you rather include Turkey also. Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, China, we are ancient civilizations in our own right. And we have a sense of diplomacy, we have a sense of how to interact. I'm confident that these designs are very, uh, may not work as well as the West hopes that they will.
Where does UN system stand, Security Council stands, international law stands, and this could be followed by any other country to carry out direct strikes on adversary, kill its leadership. It's a big question mark on international law and UN system.
Yes, you're right. But we have to look at it from a greater insight. As you know, the so-called New World Order, it was established after World War II. United Nations was established in 1945 in San Francisco when the charter was adopted. Now, at that time, it was the former colonial powers like Britain, like France, and of course United States of America that was instrumental in the success of the West against the Germans. They created the UN Security Council. At that time, there were not many members in the General Assembly. Even Pakistan was not independent. India was not independent. There were many countries that became independent after 1945. So the plan that they had was that while decolonization is one of the chapters of the charter, the decolonization process was going on in a manner that their hold on the resources will continue. They would have a veto power to, protect their vested interests. So UN was not as democratic as one would have hoped it would be. And then over the time, there are around 200 member countries in General Assembly. Now the General Assembly has become more powerful body as far as membership is concerned, but they do not have the veto power. So they can express their views, but they can't take action because there is no instrument in the charter, in the UN body for implementation of the decisions. It all depends on the donor countries who will fund, whether it's troops, boots on the ground, or whether any action needs to be taken against any country which is violating international law. Now, in this scenario, the biggest contributor was United States of America, which since Mr. Trump took over, started withdrawing its contribution. So USA started walking out of many intergovernmental and international organizations because Mr. Trump wants to create his own new world order or disorder, however you look at it. So they came up with this idea of Board of Peace also. We don't know what is the chapter of BOP. Some thought that this would be the implementing body for conflict resolution to supplement UN, not to replace UN. But at this moment, DOB is incapacitated, doesn't do anything. There is no system, there's no structure. It is just leaders getting together and sharing thoughts, but really nothing for implementation. And in the UN, because of the paucity of funds, the countries, while expressing their views, cannot do much on the ground lest there are new contributors to the funds and to capacity building of the UN. And that's why there's a lot of talk of UN reforms also. Pakistan has been proactive in proposing UN reforms. We were also founder of the Coffee Club as well. So this at this moment, I think the world is going through a transition from the rule-based order, because whose rules were these? These were the Western rules. So the rules-based order, you have to also check out what were the rules and how they're being violated and by whom. So are we looking towards a new world with new order, with new rules of the game? And I think in this scenario, China would have an important role to play. You can see, as you had spoken earlier also, that there'll be a lot of alliances, like you have BRICS, like you have SCO, like you have Quad. So how would these alliances function when it comes to global interests? Because these are more regional organizations or agenda specific organizations. They are not like the UN, which had a multifaceted agenda and mandate.
So, as you have also hinted that in future there could be Balkanization, and in case of breakup of Iran, or in case of the regime change or fall of Iran, so there is strong possibility that international terrorist organizations like Daesh, Al Qaeda, ISIS could make entry and make strong footprints on Iranian territory. So, because there may not be any regime, so that option would be more dangerous. What do you think? And it will be devastating. There will be devastating consequences for the entire region. Your thoughts, please.
I would look at it like that. The Daesh and, like Khorasan and all these groups, this is more Afghan. Iranians are not like that. Iranians will never allow such a development to take place. And I'm not sure how far the Western plan will be successful in balkanizing Iran in the first place. This is a plan. This is their wish list. Whether they'll be able to implement
succeed or not.
Exactly, whether they'll succeed or not. And in worst case scenario, even if they succeed, then each state will have its own sovereignty to protect. So it's unlikely that non-state actors will find space here. Non-state actors find space where there is no rule of law. In Iran, the rule of law is there. Their own law is there. The inqilab is there. The
Mm.
institutions, whether it's IRGC, whether it's Parliament, whether it's Guardian Council, whether it's Council of Experts, you can't wish them away. They exist, they will continue to exist.
So I would like to seek your comments. So far, we haven't seen initiation of any effort that may lead towards resumption of dialogue. Just short while ago, in the Pentagon, the US said that it will not hold talks with Iran. So, of course, there is serious concern across region the way Iran is targeting and hitting American bases in different Gulf countries. And that shows that the war has been extended to the Gulf. So, how long this type of conflict will continue? And what do you think? Which are the countries whose intervention or whose mediation efforts should be accepted, not only by Iran but also by the United States? In the previous, before attacking Iran, Oman was engaged in diplomacy and in talks. Talks were heading very positive towards positive end, but before the conclusion, Iran was attacked. So, question is the chances of diplomacy and negotiation. How do you see?
Well, last time also, the Americans and the Iranians were uh, really to the point of starting negotiations. And then Israel attacked, and then USA joined them, and the talks were derailed. This time also, you know that the second round of talks was being held in Geneva. So they were very near to finding a solution. But then Israel again attacked and derailed the talks. I think the onus is on Israel. They are planning on MEGA, Make Israel Great Again. Netanyahu is not going to rest until all the states, because when you talk about MEGA, what is MEGA? Make Israel great again. How do you make it great again? From the biblical context, they presume that the land from Euphrates to Nile is their rightful land, and God gifted it to them. So from Euphrates to Nile means Iran, Iraq, the whole of Gulf, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan.
Entire Middle Eastern territory almost, exactly.
Exactly, will be part of MEGA. Now, would all these states accept that Israel would take over all of them? And I think now there is a realization that if this is Israel's agenda, then no matter what talks you have, this will be temporary. Israel is not going to rest peacefully and let it go. Israel is very belligerent, and its design, it kind of links its existence with the non-existence of others. So any state that can stand against them is not acceptable. They will undo it. So, like a domino, you see what they have done in Lebanon. You see what they have done in Syria. You see what they did in Iraq. You know that the weapon of mass destruction.
There was a fake report, exactly. It was a fake report of weapons of mass destruction.
By Mr. Netanyahu. It was Mr. Netanyahu's report to Americans, and they fell for it. So it is Mr. Netanyahu who is not going to rest until all these states, one by one, are, destabilized and destroyed. So the problem is with Israel and their perception and delusion of what would make Israel great again.
So what do you think that this massive bombing by Israel and United States, earlier they said that their target is to make the regime change. Then they said that their target is to hit Iranian missile capabilities. So, what is your analysis? Why Iran is being attacked and punished? Is it Iran's support to issue of Palestine and Iranian support to the Hezbollah, or it is some other hidden story, as you mentioned about it? This mega make Israel great again. So, is because of this, are the future such plans they are attacking Iran? What is the actual reason of attacking Iran?
Well, actual reason only God knows, but what we can, as analysts, reading from what facts are brought to fore, there are many things that we are not aware of. And at this moment, you are a journalist, you know that a lot of fake news is circulating.
Exactly.
So we have to be very careful on distinguishing facts from fiction, because at this moment, you see there's a lull in the news. Not much is being reported because all the damage that Iran is incurring on Israel is not being reported. They don't want the world to
Exactly.
know how much
There is no
destruction
reporting
is
by the
coming.
Western media about these targets. Exactly.
So there is a kind of blur, information that is coming out. It's difficult to say how far Israel can really sustain it.
And finally, I would like to, yes, please continue.
No, please go ahead.
Okay. So finally, I would like to seek your comment and how long this war will continue. As American said, that soon they will be capturing. And Iran said till last soldier it will continue to fight. So with these predictions from both sides, it seems that war will continue for indefinite time. And indefinite time mean more destruction, more devastation, more miseries for the people, more instability.
Very true. From this divergent information that you're getting from two sides, my read is that Israel does not have the stamina for a long drawn war. USA at this moment, as we discussed earlier, Mr. Trump will be now focusing more on his midterm elections because he's looking for a third term. So he will be focusing on that. And he doesn't want to be embroiled in a war that was not approved by the Congress, which was not waged through proper procedures of the American system. So Mr. Trump would be in a very tight situation. He would rather end the war at the earliest. But the Iranians understand that. And Iranians have had a 10 years war with Iraq. They are a resilient people. They have the strategic depth. They have resources. They can sustain a long drawn. And I think Iran's strategy now, because they think that their early, conclusion of the 12-day war was a mistake. It was a mistake because Israel and USA thought that Iran was weak. That's why they agreed. Iran was not weak. This time, I don't think they will settle early. So Israel will have to suffer substantial losses. So will the Americans before Iranians agree to it. Or, God forbid, they may use nuclear option to end this matter. But then it would be a devastation for the whole world.
Thank you so much. And takeaways, if the nukes are used, that will be devastation for the whole world. And Iran is currently not weak. It can go and it can sustain this world. The sufferer will be Israel. Thank you so much, Ambassador Naela, Pakistan's former ambassador, for sparing time despite your busy schedule and participating in our program. Dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.